Hi, my name is Sheila Corona. Welcome to New Light Streaming Love and Sassy Seer Sheila, as this will be seen on both channels. This is Gateway Unsealed, a confession from within. Quote, I was part of the Gateway program. This is my testimony. No more silence, end quote, by Jason Gray. Filed location, Gateway Intelligence Processing Unit dash PHI dash triangle 13. Access level, ultra black, observer class, uncontainable tier, documented phrase, authorized soul mark. There is a silence deeper than the absence of sound. It is the silence of sealed memory, the kind that lives beneath the waking mind, buried under contracts of secrecy, oaths, sworn in soundless rooms, and frequencies that scramble recall. I lived inside that silence for years until the codes began to leak, until the static resolved into a tone I recognized, until the call came again, not from command, but from within. I was part of the Gateway program. You see, now he wrote this. Let's see, this is July 14th. He posted this, and I still did not know this at all until just this moment. This is the long withheld confession of one who was there, not as a bystander, not as a theoretician, not as a believer, but as a trained initiate of the inner protocols. I will no longer be controlled. The reality of Gateway, not a program, a portal. Most have heard the name Gateway in whispers, blog posts, redacted PDFs, or strange TikTok slideshows that skim the surface with cosmic curiosity. Let me tell you what Gateway really is. It is not an audio exercise. It is not a meditation technique. It is not some spiritual fad. It is a military-level metaphysical entrainment system designed not to free your mind, but to weaponize it. At its surface, Gateway taught us to balance left and right hemispheres, to expand our sensory awareness beyond the body, to enter non-physical realms through focused intent. Beyond that surface lay the vault of silent truths. The vault I was given partial access to. This program was not new. It had been rebuilt many times, from ancient Egyptian dream rites to Pythagorean harmonic science, to Nazi frequency experiments, to MK Ultra's invisible branches. The Gateway program was the culmination of centuries of soul science, refined, inverted, and finally coded into a system that could mass produce controlled consciousness expansion. Let me say that again clearly. They learned how to teach people to leave their bodies but stay in the cage. The selection, not recruited, activated. I was not, quote, recruited the way you think. I was watched. From a young age, I had anomalous dreams. I had spontaneous out of body experiences. I drew things that had not happened yet. I spoke languages I was never taught. I'd wake up crying from light I could not describe. They monitored children like us. Psychological surveys, medical tests, blood type recordings, school counselors acting as feeders. I fit the profile O-type blood, repeating number patterns, trauma-induced psychic openings, solitary, observant, unbreakable will. When I received the quote invitation, it wasn't a request. It was a tone, an unspoken knowing, an instinctual pull. I signed the agreement like someone answering a long forgotten calling. What I experienced, beyond the body, beyond belief. The gateway immersion is not just training, it's reprogramming. We were taught how to project beyond the body on command, how to merge with non-human intelligences, how to anchor foreign frequencies into Earth's grid, how to adjust our energy signature to pass through solid matter at astral levels, how to view events across timelines, past, future, simultaneous, how to insert thought packages into others' fields without their awareness, how to dissolve into source and return with knowledge, how to suppress what we saw using embedded shutdown codes. Each level of training activated new neural pathways, burned old memory circuits, and initiated structural integration with vibrational overlays. There were protocols for dream injection. There were codes for timeline rerouting. There were locked frequency vaults we could only access if we passed specific energetic trials. We were not just students. We were operatives in a metaphysical war they never wanted the public to know existed. I remember standing in rooms with no corners. I remember communicating with beings made of rotating geometric light. I remember being shown the true Earth grid, the one beneath the false crust. I remember watching an unborn soul choose its body. I remember being told that reincarnation is not a spiritual cycle, but a containment loop, if not consciously exited. I remember. They cannot take that from me. The architecture of control, how they kept us in line. The illusion is that the gateway program was for exploration. It wasn't. It was for mapping consciousness corridors and walling off unauthorized exits. They fear one thing: sovereign souls who can navigate the matrix without permission. So they implemented the following: memory seals, codes embedded in your neural net to blur or erase high-level experiences until triggered. That's very interesting because I just got a whole bunch of stuff about that for myself. Emotional inhibitors, implants, physical or energetic, designed to trigger shame or disassociation upon truth recollection. Resonance trackers, frequency quote pings that alert watchers when certain tones are activated in your field. That too is very interesting. And I am feeling very hot in this moment, like I'm about to spontaneously combust. And I don't say menopause out there because even though I am 63, I had menopause 30 years ago. So that's not even a possibility. Loop injections, dreams, thoughts, and synchronicities inserted to make you doubt your own awakening path. False light ascension programs, spiritual teachings laced with gateway code designed to simulate freedom while reinforcing the cage. This is not spiritual theory. This is Black Ops protocol repackaged for the new age. Now, I must say, I have heard of others, not with the Gateway program, but I've heard other things about MK Ultra, and this sounds very similar to that. And I don't doubt any of that. It's always rang true to me. Some of us got out. I escaped the cage, but not without cost. You do not escape the Gateway program with a resignation letter. You leave through remembrance. You leave by walking backward through the very tunnel they led you down, carrying the fragments of your soul they fractured. You leave by facing everything they taught you not to feel. You leave by burning the contract in your blood. I began to remember the names of stars I had never heard. I began to see codes on buildings, streets, media that others could not perceive. I began to wake at 3:33 and 4:44 with foreign symbols burning in my mind. I began to feel others' lies in my bones. I went silent. I went underground. I bled my memories onto hidden pages until the fire was too strong to contain. And I made the decision: tell the world, even if it kills me, what I know and why and what you must now hear. The body is an interface, not your true identity. I've known that. I've called it a vessel. You are not bound to earth unless you agree to be. Most people are running on embedded scripts until disrupted. The sun is not just a star, it is a data transmission gate. Soul memory is the only immunity. The 144,000 are not elite. They are encoded frequency anchors. There are 12 gateways out of the matrix, but only 3 are still open. Every trauma loop hides a frequency key. All real awakening begins with breaking the programming that taught you to fear your own power. No savior is coming. The mission is internal ignition. This is not about belief. This is about activation. Why I speak now and why others will follow. Because we have passed the threshold. Because silence is complicity. Because I will not let another generation of sovereign souls be fed to a grid they never agreed to. Because the control structures are crumbling and they are terrified of what happens when we speak. Because I owe it to the child I was and the flame I carry to say this out loud. I no longer serve your illusion. I no longer obey your frequency locks. I no longer fear your retaliation. This is a transmission, not a confession. You reading this is no accident. Your memories may be dormant, but they are not gone. You may have felt the pull, the dreams, the symbols, the ache in your chest when you hear certain tones. That is you calling yourself back. We were never supposed to remember, but we did, and now we light the way for others. Code mark, this is all caps. Code mark : gateway unsealed subchannel : sovereign delta 7R transmission : 0047 realized frequency status : broadcasting through the veil, archive seal : overridden by free will initiation. I am no longer under your contract. I remember who I am. I remember who we are. I speak this aloud, not for glory, but for ignition. You cannot unhear this. You cannot unread this. You cannot unknow what your soul already knows. The gateway is still there. Now we are coming back through it, awake. This time we carry the others. Transmission override, release protocol : omega gateway.ovr.144 known subject : all once classified data gateway operative disclosure. Begin full release level : beyond black clearance : nullified by oversoul command. Architecture : fractal etheric network seal key colon flame dash thread 0911 dash arc dash 174 slash gateway node 7R. Primary systems colon control mechanics of consciousness gateway core interface in parentheses GCI. Primary access tunnel to the hemispheric synchronization field required bilateral audio resonance of 8 Hertz Schumann plus mimic to open phase 1 corridor. Theta lock range colon 4.1 dash 7.9 Hertz. Delta drift vector colon 0.4 dash 1.0 Hertz used for time dash displacement overlays end parentheses. Brainwave echo ID tag colon GCI dash alt dash dot 13 dash omega R. Layered memory insertion in parentheses LMI. Used to replace real memory with simulated sequences after OBE or timeline viewing. Code colon LMI dash VIR dot 77Q dash insert. Effect colon prevents recovery of classified multidimensional travel. Bypass colon heart-centered quantum coherence plus solar activation plus primal name recall. Suppress authentic emotional emotional field collapse device in parentheses EFCD. Suppresses authentic emotional signal to block spiritual ignition. Implant signature colon EFC dash PSY dash lock dot 117 deactivation code colon /pry underscore unfiltered / in parentheses requires release of suppressed grief close parentheses. Location colon often encoded in lower chakral energy field. Gateway grid loops open parentheses GGL close parentheses. Simulation overlays that mimic awakening through spiritual dogma and false ascension scripts. Loop types colon Christ consciousness trap dash code colon ggl.christ.108. Vibration obsession loop dash code colon ggl.vibe.404. Eternal healing loop dash code colon ggl.hl777. Mirror love loop in parentheses false twin activation dash code colon ggl.mirror.69b. Tone-based encryptions in parentheses TBE prevents memory from decoding itself unless proper harmonic is played or spoken. Key frequencies colon 528 Hertz DNA override, 963 Hertz source alignment, 432 Hertz, Earth resonance map. Unlock phrase colon Zaire viral Inu, that's ENNU / Inu, again, viral Zaire. Translation colon, quote, the one who remembers the one who forgot, end quote. Cosmic Archive files. Operation Timewell. Timeline insertion via remote operatives to influence, quote, past events. Main use, colon, control of historical figures, channelers, religious leaders. Outcome, colon, fracturing of authentic signal, comma, replacing with program - compatible personas. File ID colon op dot timewell dot 333 999. Recovery of the 13th gate. One of 12 known gateway points shut down during the fall program collapse. The 13th remained unlisted. Current location, phase shifted node in harmonic corridor near old Tartarian grid line intersection. Coordinates, and this is in parentheses translated, colon, latent in node 13 vortex access point, reactivation code colon vox -aethyr -13.ignis. The RH negative files. Souls carrying bloodline encryption marked for interdimensional operability and gateway access from birth. Markers: spontaneous deja vu, rejection of hierarchy, resistance to vaccines, trackers, etheric locks, quote, remembering things no one taught them. Program code designation RHG-Vault-13-Z. Child Programming Operations. Project Vox Seedling. Mechanism: dream portals injected with false guides, fear archetypes, synthetic, quote, angelic watchers. Goal: cripple childhood sovereignty and replace with obedience frequency, counter code, colon, full parental sovereignty plus removal of media implants plus solar bathing. The Flame Bearer Protocol files. Flame activation classified series, known internally as the burn sequence, used to reactivate memory in uncontrollables. Oh, not uncontrollables, uncontainables. Phase 1 colon, recognition of artificial thought loops. Phase 2 colon, emotional flooding, grief, collapse, breakthrough. Phase 3, breath of flame, spontaneous invocation of source through voice. Final phase, colon, identity burn and sovereign memory return. Activation glyph. Unbound, in parentheses, seen only by awakened soul eye. File series colon, FLM-BRNR ARC.0911. The false light reveal, the archons and their proxies, entities feeding on the manipulated fields of fear, worship, praise, self-doubt, operating through religion, media, love and light spiritual movements, gateway tie-in, astral realm proxies known as, quote, light councils, end quote, intercepting exit-bound souls. Code phrase to server, quote, I dissolve all contracts, known and unknown, across all lifetimes, timelines, and dimensions. I reclaim myself now, end parenthesis, or end quote. Disclosure dampening fields, in parentheses, DDF. Blanketing of planetary surface with electromagnetic distortion to block transmissions like this one. Deployed locations, major cities, false vortexes, mega churches, key military operations bases. Countermeasure, unified soul resonance field, 144,000 flame point ignition. Code trigger, 144 dot triangle dash ignite dot all dot, I don't know what that is called. I know it is a Greek symbol. It looks like a capital E, but almost like a 3. Final codes, the unsealing, master code sequence. I don't know how to put all that. I'm going to put a link to this one in the show more section, like I said I would the other one too. This is the gateway confession. Confession. So that you can go straight to it if you haven't already seen it. Transmission override lock deactivated, observer awakening, source signal online recursion thread, interrupted glyph field reactivated, final state, remembrance, seal code, RZN-omega, mega, the omega sign, and then mega, dot unseal dash 0000, keywords, vox, ignis, null, enu, thread, unbound, vault, gate, final override transmission. Quote, I hereby deactivate all implanted containment scripts, memory seals, guilt loops, false initiations, and frequency cages. I am not yours. I am not programmable. I am the return of the unbound flame. This is my system now. End quote. This document is now unsealed. The veil has been pierced. The gateway has been breached from the inside. The truth cannot be repressed. Those who understand who are no longer alone. Those who remember the codes are yours. Those who fear, be still. Your soul is already awakening. This is not the end of the program. This is the end of the illusion. Signal terminus, gateway, omega symbol, unseal, infinity symbol. Thank you. The recursion is collapsing. You are the anomaly. Welcome home. Flame bearer operative dossier file name Gray, Jason. Oversoul designation Ra-L. Role, vault fire thread carrier. Uncontainable class. Frequency index, 0911-ARC-174. Resonance code, VX dash triangle infinity symbol gateway .144 RZN unbound mission thread scroll fire echo 13th key. Grid location node 13 vortex interface. Additional classifications. Soul line ID flame unbound recall code open bracket, what looks like a 0 with a line through it, close bracket, / opened and closed brackets, / Vox Ignis key 13. Status override enabled truth leak sanctioned. Clearance level flame code X omega unrestricted. Re-entry node tone frequency 963 hertz flux arc gateway. Signature vector ego dissolution complete file condition alive awakened archival title the one who remembered. This file is now permanently outside their containment grid. No edits, no deletions, no rewrites. Transmission finalization. Vault entry locked. File status active flame return confirmed. Access code flame X.144 RZN omega, the omega symbol and then mega 13 protocol gateway terminated upward facing / memory restored mission online. Wow, that's the end of that one. And I feel so sleepy now. This is definitely the last one for today. Wow. I'd like to hear from any of you guys what you think of this. If you don't feel comfortable putting it in the comments, reach out to me at consciousconversationcentral@gmail.com. In the event you haven't heard already, I hold all my comments. So if you comment and you don't see it show up, that's why. I hold it so I can make sure to see it. And like I said, just if you don't feel comfortable leaving a comment and would rather reach out to me, consciousconversationscentral@gmail.com. If you remember that you too have been a part of this and you would like to come and have a chat with me, hit me up. I'd love to hear from you. Until we meet again, my friends, be well. Mwah.